But yeah, so how you guys doing? Are you guys doing all right? I know we're all quarantined and stuff. Um, yeah, so let's get right into it. This is the new Off the Cuff podcast. My name's Alex, if you guys didn't already know. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be tuning in from my other channel, but this is gonna be a new thing that I'm venturing into. So a little bit about me. Like I said, my name is Alex. I run a channel called Off the Cuff Reviews, and basically I review movies and other things like that. And that's kind of what this podcast is going to be. This podcast is going to be where not necessarily where I review movies, but where I talk about different things in movie entertainment, and not just movies, but just in the entertainment industry in general. And we're just going to talk about that. I have a few things I want to cover today, and then we're going to go from there. Hopefully this kind of takes off. And you should be on the lookout, because it's not this is going to be probably a weekly thing where I'm doing this podcast here, but here's a little bit of an update. I actually have another podcast that I'm going to be launching any day now, and it's going to be me and my brother, and we're going to be talking about politics, news, just things like that. We're going to go into conspiracy theories about not just the news, but things that we find interesting. We're just going to dive deep into things, do a little bit of research, and it's going to be interesting because he has a lot of weird views, and I have a lot of weird views, and we like to, things get a little bit heated when we start talking about things. So that's definitely going to be interesting. So you guys should definitely tune into that. But yeah, like I said, let's get right into this podcast. This is episode 1 of the Off the Cuff podcast. This is going to be presented by Electric Media. And I don't have any real sponsors. Electric Media, just to let you guys know, is a company that I own, and it's an umbrella company that has all of my other things under it. And I'm gonna start launching things under the Electric Media name, so keep an eye out for that as well. So again, yeah, how are you guys doing? This is it's come crazy times out there, that's for sure. But I don't want to make this too long. Let's get right into like a little bit about myself. So, and why I think everybody, not just the people that are on this channel, but on my other channel, why I think that my voice matters. So let's get into it. So I've been in the entertainment industry for about 10 years now. I started playing guitar, and I took lessons. I eventually started recording songs with my my guitar teacher. He had his own studio, and that's where I fell in love with making audio. Not just music, but just audio in general, the whole process behind it. I thought it was very intriguing. So that's what I did after I got out of high school. I went into an audio engineering school in New York City called SAE Institute. And one of the classes that we had there was called Sound for Picture. And basically what that is just like exactly what it sounds like. It's sound for movies, and it's post-production basically. And everything has post-production, so it's not just movies, it's commercials, it's TV shows, everything like that. That's sound for picture. And when we took that class, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with making like the whole post-production process. I fell in love with that immediately. And right after that class, right after I was done with SAE, I actually went over to intern at a studio in Times Square. I don't believe they are there anymore. I think they moved locations, but it was called Skinny Man Studios, and it was ran by a man named Roy Harder. and he's a very great musician, and that internship is where I got my start in podcasting. I didn't really I didn't do any podcasting then, but I didn't even like work on their they had a podcast. I didn't even work on it, but I was there while they were setting up for it, and it was very intriguing. I had known what podcasts were. I was listening to podcasts by then already, but when I was there and they were doing their podcast, I kind of fell in love with the whole process of that as well. And from the get-go, I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to do a podcast. But then I just turned into the guy that was like, hey, I'm going to do a podcast. But then I never did it. And now I feel like there's no better time. You know, I've always wanted to do this. So you know what? We're doing it. And so let's get right into what I want to talk about today. And the main topic that I wanted to touch is the Halloween franchise. And mainly I wanted to talk about the 2018 reboot or remake or whatever you want to call it to the franchise. I wanted to talk about that tonight. And it is a late night. It's about 11 p.m. Actually, it's almost 12 a.m. So, strap in and we'll get real weird. just kidding. So, I had a few White Claws already. If you couldn't tell. White Claw sponsor me. No, I'm just joking. Actually, no, I'm not joking. If they want to send me some beer or something, that'd be great. Halloween 2018. This movie was good, and I feel the same as pretty much all of my friends who mention that they like this movie, but they like it as a standalone movie, and I can see why. Because even though they're making Halloween Kills this year, I can see why I feel this, and I mean, I can see why they're going to make a sequel because of the ending and how they ended it in Halloween 2018. But I can see why people feel like this should have been a standalone film. And my opinion on it is that there's a lot of homages. There's so many homages to the whole entire franchise in the movies previous that it lacks a little bit of originality. Now, there is a little bit of originality, and they do bring a fresh take to the franchise. And I hope the only way that this sequel that they're doing the only way that that's going to even work at all is if they really take their original aspects to the first movie from 2018 and really like ramp them up in the new one, because there was too many homages. Now, I don't want to sound like a pretentious asshole who's just talking about how, there's too many, like, you need to have originality. But then when people are original, but here's the thing, there's a curse to the Halloween franchise. When people start trying to take their original ideas and put them on screen, they don't execute very well. And when they don't execute well, the movie just fails. The movie fails, and we saw that with Rob Zombie's Halloween. He tried to do his own violent take, and he took his own Rob Zombie-esque themes and tried to put it in a Halloween film, actually 2 Halloween films, and he put it into the Halloween film, and it didn't work because there was so much unnecessary violence that didn't do anything for the story at all. And not only that, but there was, overall the whole film just felt discombobulated, and it was just it felt like it was just thrown together, like not much care. And well, let me get back to the 2018 version real quick before we go too much into the Rob Zombies version of this. But so in the 2018 one, there's some great, there's a great tracking shot that's like kind of like Halloween 2 from back in the day, and there's a lot of scenes where they just kind of like show like a glimpse of things where like that. It's almost like a rehashing or like it's basically, like I said, it's an homage to the previous films. And they did a very good job at paying homage to the previous films. And I think that, like I said, I think that they need to take the original aspects of the 2018 version and really ramp them up, because we will not see we will just get the same bullshit that we got in 2018 if they do it again and release it in Halloween Kills, and everyone's gonna hate it. It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be panned by critics if people, if they don't do the originality. I'm telling you right now, if it's just an homage again, they're just gonna say, oh, they're just doing it again, and this is it. They're just gonna keep saying it's a cash grab, and we don't want a cash grab. We want original content. That's what the fans want. That's what the fans want to see right now. They don't want to see an homage to the previous films. They don't. You already did it, and you did it well, and they liked it, and I liked it, and most people did like it, but they want originality if you're going to make another movie. So heed my warning, filmmakers. Jason Blum, get your fucking hands off this movie. That's for goddamn sure. Dude, I hate Jason Blum, man. Okay, anyway, before I get into that rant, let's talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween again, because Rob Zombie's Halloween was so original and so outlandish and weird and violent, extra random violence that they didn't need in the movie, that it brought the film down. And it was definitely one of his worst movies. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought it was good for what it was, but it wasn't. I know that there's so many flaws with it. Like I know, and I can acknowledge the flaws, but like with that said, with like me saying that there's flaws, I still enjoyed the film as it is, even though there is flaws. Scout Taylor Compton, shout out to her, because she's amazing. I wish that she was in more things. She was great in that movie. That's where I kind of fell in love with her acting style, and I've seen her in some other things as well. And I met her at a convention, but she's great. She's a great person. She gives off amazing vibes. If you follow her Instagram, she's all about positive vibes, and she's just a great person overall. She's a great actress, and I think that she has the caliber to be in some really, really big things, and I wish more filmmakers would pick her up and cast her. No, with that said, I think the overall consensus with this movie, I think most people would agree that they should bring out the original aspects. They should maybe go out a little bit crazy like Rob Zombie was trying to do, and just not have all the extra bullshit that he added in there. Like, he did his own take, but like he did a Rob Zombie take on it. Like when you watch Rob Zombie, you're like, you know what to expect, and he gave you exactly what we were expecting when we watch a Rob Zombie movie. That's exactly what we're expecting. Crazy, stupid violence that probably has no point to be in the movie. Some campy ass fucking acting bullshit that, you know, maybe it's not the greatest, but he just has like a certain vibe that he brings to a movie, and you can tell for sure. And that was a downfall for him because he tried to do that with the Halloween franchise. And one of the things that Halloween does well, especially in the first film, is the lack of violence, the lack of things. There's like a mysterious aspect to it where it draws you in. And that's what's scary. It's the unknown and the mysterious aspects of things. It's not necessarily, like there's a big knife and they're just like slice. Like, no, it's an Alfred Hitchcock move where things aren't what they seem on the surface, and you don't really see like a bunch of gory mess. You kind of you see a bunch of, you know, you get a lot of the mysterious aspects of things, and they leave things to the imagination a lot. in the first Halloween movie. And that's what makes it scary, because you're thinking that's what happens. But if you actually watch that movie, there's not a lot of violence. There's not a lot of violence, and that's what makes it good. So they did make the 2018 one pretty violent and pretty graphic, and I actually enjoyed that. I just hope that they don't take those parts and do too much in the sequel. I think the way that they did it was just enough where it was still subtle, but it was just enough to get us there, get us to that point, to get us to that, the thing that we're craving is to see Michael Myers wreak havoc all over the fucking place. That's what we want to see, and that's what they delivered. And they delivered with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I thought they did a very good job with her character. I wish that she had a little bit more of a part in the main story. Like, I wish that she was in it a little bit more, but overall, I think it was good. I'm glad that they brought her back. I'm glad that overall, the movie is great, and the acting was all great. The performances were all great. But if they don't take the original aspects of that film and put that in the sequel here in Halloween Kills, then it's going to come off as another homage, and it's probably going to seem pretentious. And that's something that Jason Blum knows a lot about. So I'm hoping that I think Blumhouse is still producing it, so I'm hoping that they don't ruin it. But I also had that same feeling when they were announced as the producer for the first one in 2018, and I thought that it was going to be horrible, especially because Danny McBride was one of the writers or one of the producers or whatever, and I thought they were going to try to make it too comedic, too much comedy was going to be in it. But they actually did a very good job. And Danny McBride's actually great. I don't know why I even had any doubt. But I'm glad that I believe he's returning for this new one too. So I'm really excited for it. I know a lot of people are still excited for it. And I just, like I said, please be original. Please be original. So, moving on, the next topic that I wanted to talk about was the AMC Theater possible bankruptcy. Now, I have been saying since the whole start of this COVID-19 quarantine thing, I have been saying that I believe that in this quarantine situation, we're going to come out of it and things are going to be a lot different. And I still believe that. I think that theaters are going to go bye-bye. I think that this is the start of theaters going bye-bye. I definitely think that. I think that like even if the economy doesn't get going, regardless, I said that wrong. Regardless of whether the economy does get going or not, I think that they're going to, it's not going to be good for AMC or any of the theater companies, because who's going to want to go to a movie theater? Who's going to want to go to a packed movie theater? Like, they already don't go. They're like, the numbers are so low for theaters already. So like they're going to go way down even after things start opening up again, because no one's going to want to go. No one's going to want to sit in a crowded ass theater when you feel like you're on top of another person who's hacking up a lung, because that's what people do. Like, the gross people go to movie theaters for some odd reason. I don't know why. It pisses me off. Every time I go, there's somebody like fucking like literally coughing or like just being disgusting ass human beings. First of all, if you're one of them, stay the fuck home. Second thing is like, yeah, I think that like most people aren't going to go. I think that it's going to be more about we're probably going to see a rise in drive-in movie theaters and less in regular theaters. I think drive-in theaters are going to make bank after all of this happens. Maybe even if we don't get open until like September, then they probably won't open really. But I think like moving into like the next year, next summer, they're going to be popping. People are going to want to go see the movies that they're going to want to get out of their house and go see a movie. They're not going to want to stay inside and go, watch Tenet, because, watching Tenet inside is not the same as watching it at a theater. So I think the drive-in theaters are going to be what takes off here, and the regular theaters are going to go way down. And that's just because people aren't going to go. And we're seeing that because AMC is already struggling. They were struggling probably before all of this, and then as soon as this hits, they're like, no one's coming, so we're going to have to shut down. And then if we're shut down, then that's it. That's like a death knell to them. I think they're about to file for bankruptcy sometime soon, and that's not good. That's not good for theaters. I want theaters to be open. I want to go to the theater, but I just know that they're not going to last very long, or maybe there's going to be a couple of them, but we're going to start seeing that people are switching over to like. They're not going to be going to the movie theater as much. They're going to be doing different things. And obviously things are coming out on VOD, video on demand. And so more movies are going to be doing that. And more people are going to be staying home because they're going to continue to do that. There's no doubt about it in my mind. They're definitely going to continue to do that. Release them on VOD even after they start opening up, because people are going to want to do that. People aren't going to want to go to the theater, but these production companies still have to make money somehow. So they're going to release it on VOD, and people are going to buy it. And everyone's that's complaining about the $20 that it's going to be to rent a movie for 1 day or 2 days. And it's like, dude, how much do you pay to go to the movie theater? It's like $50 to go to the movie theater. It's just like one time, dude, to go sit in a movie, to go sit and like catch the coronavirus in a movie theater. It's still going to be way more expensive than if you just go and watch the movie at home for $20 and you're safe. There you go. That's the option, dude. That's your options. And I think that we're going to see a shift, and that's not going to be the only shift, but that's going to be one of the main ones, dude. And with all that said, I think that we should be supporting these theaters. We should try to do everything we can to make sure that they stay open, because I want to go to the theater, and I know a lot of other people want to go to the theater, because who wants to go see the next Christopher Nolan movie at their house? Your shitty ass TV is not going to broadcast Tenet in a good format. We want to see that on the big screen. There's a reason why they shoot them in IMAX. It's a huge, obviously, But I wonder if I'll get in trouble for having that White Claw in my video. White Claw, sponsor me. So, with all of that said, I think there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about in this episode, but I can't remember. So I'm going to bid you guys a farewell for now. Stay tuned, because this is going to be a weekly podcast, and we're going to probably have, it's probably going to be a longer episode next time. We're going to dive into some deep things about, just different topics. I haven't decided 100% on what I want to talk about, but I have a list of different things for a bunch of different episodes. So I'm going to narrow it down. We're going to talk about some amazing things, and I want you guys to tune in so we can, talk about your favorite movies, or talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you guys want to talk about something, let me know. I'll talk about it. I don't care. I'll let you guys, just let me know. Just be like, yo, can you tell me what your take is on this? And I'll be like, yeah, that sucks. Or yeah, that's good. I don't care. I'll tell you how it is. That's okay. Here's what you're going to get when you come to this podcast. Okay. You're going to get entertainment news. You're going to get my take on it. And you're going to get probably some reviews about some movies that I probably won't talk about on my regular channel. Is that cool? Was that cool with you guys? Because that's basically what I thought this podcast would be. I originally, for the sake of just explaining things, I originally was going to do this podcast I recorded a couple episodes, but I just never released them. Basically, this podcast was originally going to be just me reviewing movies. Like it was going to be me reviewing movies. It was going to be like I was going to cover like 2 or 3 movies in one shot, and it's going to be like an hour and a half long, and then I was going to post it on YouTube. But then I never posted it. And I was like, I feel like that's not going to be the greatest idea because, and I was right, because people, when they consume media, when they consume things, especially on YouTube, they don't like to sit through the entire thing, especially if it's an hour long. Who the hell wants to sit through that? I mean, I do because I'm crazy, but like most people, there's like a niche group of people that watch podcasts, and I'm doing this podcast for myself mainly. I want to do this because I like to talk about things, and I just want my take to be heard by other people, and so that's why I kind of started this. But there's a niche group of people that listen to podcasts, and most people consume media in small amounts just because their attention spans can't handle it. And I noticed that with my new channel that I have for off the cuff reviews, like I just posted a video like 2 days ago or yesterday or whenever, and it's only 2.5 minutes long. And guess what? The average time for watching it is only 1 minute. Yeah. So like when I release a 15-minute video compared to a 2-minute video, it's like, why? Like, I was like, oh, like people are only watching 5 minutes of my 15-minute video. Like maybe I'll release something shorter. So I do, and they only watch half of it. They can't even sit there and watch a 2-minute long video. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that you have to like be mindful of those type of things. And so I kind of already knew that was going to happen, and that's why I didn't want to release this podcast first. I wanted to start a regular channel first with shorter videos, and then I wanted to build this podcast up. And that's where we are now. And I feel like it's a good time. I don't have that many subscribers on my other channel, but I have some loyal subscribers that I know watch my videos every single time I upload them. So I figured that they probably will be over here too. And, this is going to be one big happy family. I love podcasts, and I'm actually really enjoying this podcasting format. I'm probably going to eventually have a desk or something, like a table, so it's not so awkward. But yeah, so I first of all, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really enjoyed making this podcast episode. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. And yeah. Oh, and you know what else? I didn't really like explain any of this in the beginning, but I was actually on the radio for a little while as a radio personality, and I know that some people are going to tune in from that. And I just want to say thank you to those people. And basically, like, they're going to know that this is probably going to be like a glow up for me. I was a little bit awkward when I was on the radio. It was set up in a podcasting format, but it was actually broadcast on the radio. So it was a morning show that I was on. And I had to leave because I wasn't really making any money. We were supposed to make money, but I was helping out an up-and-coming radio station, and the radio station never actually got signed by, there's a whole big production behind it in radio, and it's too much to get into. I learned a lot. I actually learned a lot working there, and that's another reason why I kind of wanted to do my own podcast, because I knew that some people would still tune in from when I was on there, and I know that some people will continue to tune in. But yeah, so just, let me know what you guys think of the production. Let me know what you guys think of the episode itself. It was probably a little bit discombobulated. I'm like 2 White Claws deep, and I've done 3 other videos tonight, and I'm a little tired. So, sorry, But next episode, I'm definitely going to be a little bit more prepared. I just wanted to get this one out there as soon as possible. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys tune into the next one, and I will see you guys soon. So stay safe. And yeah.